I almost died the other day. It was rainy. I was driving on the freeway, not particularly fast, going around this part of the freeway. It's kind of a blind turn, and on the opposite side, there was a bad accident. The cars in front of me had slowed down or stopped. And when I went to slow down, my wheels locked up. I don't know if I hit an oil slick or just the road the wrong way, and the car went out of control. If you've ever been in one of those situations, it's really curious. Life happens both extremely fast, as if going at warp speed, but also it slows down as if everything's in slow motion. And as fast as everything's happening, I had enough time to reflect on what I'd experienced that morning, conversations I had, to look around and assess where other cars were, to feel the weight of the car, and to be acutely aware that if I pulled the wheel a little to the right, it would likely flip the car over. Or if I pulled the wheel too hard to the left, it was going to cause the car to spin around across the freeway and potentially hit other cars or flip over in that way too. What was most shocking to me, though, in that moment was there was a voice, and it was so distinct, and it was saying, "You can let go, and it'll all go away." I had been feeling sad that morning, and the sadness had been kind of heavy on my heart. And what that voice was telling me essentially is that you can let go. It's okay if you die right now because it'll take the pain away. I had enough time to be shocked and surprised by that. And I also had enough time to feel that momentary relief of what it would feel like to be free from that sadness. And then the presence of mind to say, wait a minute, I don't want to die right now. I still want to be here. I still want to live. With that voice, then being able to gain control of the car, assess the situation, get the car safely under control, and then slow down and be able to come to a safe stop. After that, I spent some time really reflecting on what matters most. What are my priorities in life? What brings me joy, and how much time do I spend every day doing things that may not bring me joy? But what really came up to me was the feeling of sadness. And I think this is in part why I want to share this with you today. There's quite a societal push right now about validating our feelings. Your feelings are valid. Your feelings are valid. And oftentimes, I do agree with that. We're human beings, and we're having these emotional experiences. And in those emotional experiences, we're going to experience a host of emotions. My goodness, this past year especially, we've gone through the roller coaster of life, and so many new experiences and unexpected. And absolutely, there's going to be a wide swath of emotions that come through it that are valid to feel in those moments. But I also want to caution that, because the source of emotion is often not just the experience, but it's a byproduct of our beliefs, our values, and what we're believing in that moment about the experience. And in that moment where the voice was saying, you could let go, that I almost died, what I was believing about myself was actually a lie. I was believing that I wasn't good enough, that I was undeserving and unworthy. And because I was focusing on that, I was feeling sad as a byproduct. So then I imagine, I die. And at my funeral, people are sitting around and saying, yeah, his sadness he was feeling in that moment was valid, basically saying he was valid to believe that he was unworthy, undeserving, and unloved. I'm willing to bet that anybody at my funeral would probably not say that. They'd probably say I was deserving, I was good enough, and I was loved. Oftentimes in our world, we turn our feelings into facts. We feel something and then we make that our gospel and we act in accordance to that. And I would argue that many of our challenges and problems and obstacles we face in life are based off of that, based off of us turning our feelings into facts. And when we do that, when we're validating those lies, what we're doing is we're starting to create a reality and fight for a reality that's built on lies. That's not to diminish the significance of the feeling. What it is it's to invite the opportunity of exploration. If any time during that time of me focusing on my sadness, I would have changed the conversation and said, Jesse, why are you sad right now? Is this really true, what you're believing to be true, to be sad? What would you like to feel instead of feeling sad? Well, I'd like to feel happy. I'd like to feel relief. I'd like to feel silly, whatever it is. But I wasn't doing that in that moment. What I was doing in that moment was sitting in the stink of a lie, the lie that I wasn't enough and the lie that I don't deserve. And that's where that sadness came from. And in that case, I don't think that feeling is valid because I wouldn't want to go through my life validating a lie, as I imagine most of you wouldn't either. So I want to share this with you today. There's no big reveal or aha or anything like that. It's just kind of sharing a very human experience and a very human introspection afterwards with the hopes that perhaps it can serve you in reflecting on some of your very human moments. Because oftentimes in life, we will take our feelings, we'll turn them into facts, and we do something that we may later on regret. And in some cases, like mine almost was, it could have been an unreversible choice. So I'm super grateful I'm here with you all. I am so grateful to be able to share this with you. And I am so glad that that choice was presented to me and I chose to be here because I would have been pretty bummed. I really enjoy life and there's a lot of beautiful things in the world, including you.